If you're a history buff, then you need to hear this. The story of America's founding is often told through a lens of heroism and discovery, but there's a much darker side that rarely gets the attention it deserves. Let's dive into the dark truth of America's founding days, a tale filled with conquest, suffering, and irreversible change. The year was 1492 when Christopher Columbus set sail, not for glory, but for conquest. His journey marked the beginning of a brutal era that would reshape the New World forever. What followed was a brutal era of colonization that reshaped the New World forever. European powers, driven by greed and a thirst for dominance, embarked on a mission that would leave a lasting scar on the continent. Native populations were decimated not just by the sword but by disease. Smallpox, measles, and influenza swept through indigenous communities like wildfire. These diseases, brought by the Europeans, had devastating effects on the native populations who had no immunity. Entire cultures vanished almost overnight. The loss was not just in numbers, but in the rich traditions, languages, and histories that were erased. The conquistadors, driven by greed and a thirst for power, enslaved thousands. They saw the native populations as obstacles to their wealth and power, treating them with unimaginable cruelty. The encomienda system forced Native Americans into backbreaking labor, mining gold and silver to line European coffers. This system was essentially a form of slavery, where natives were exploited for the benefit of the colonizers. But it wasn't just physical domination. The colonizers sought to control every aspect of native life. Colonizers imposed their religion, language, and customs, erasing centuries of indigenous heritage. Missionaries played a significant role in this cultural erasure, converting natives to Christianity and forcing them to abandon their traditional beliefs. Whole histories rewritten, voices silenced. The rich tapestry of indigenous cultures was systematically unraveled, leaving behind a void that can never be fully filled. And let's not forget the environmental impact. The arrival of Europeans brought about drastic changes to the landscape. European settlers brought new crops and livestock, forever altering the landscape. The introduction of European farming techniques and animals disrupted the existing ecosystems. Forests were cleared, rivers rerouted, and ecosystems disrupted. The environmental changes were profound and often destructive, leading to long-term consequences for the land and its original inhabitants. The New World was anything but new. It was a thriving, complex world ripped apart at the seams. Indigenous societies had their own sophisticated systems of governance, trade, and culture, all of which were upended by colonization. These dark chapters are often glossed over in history books, but the truth demands to be heard. Understanding this history is crucial for acknowledging the injustices and learning from the past. The legacy of colonization is a scar that still runs deep today, evident in the struggles of Native American communities fighting for their rights and recognition. These communities continue to face challenges, from legal battles over land to efforts to preserve their cultural heritage. So next time you hear about the discovery of America, remember the untold stories, the lost lives, and the cultures that were systematically erased. It's important to recognize the full scope of history, not just the parts that are convenient or glorified. It's a grim past, but one we must acknowledge to understand the present. By facing these uncomfortable truths, we can work towards a more just and equitable future. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's hidden truths. Your engagement helps us bring more untold stories to light. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning. History is not just about the past. It's about understanding our present and shaping our future.